What's up, guys? Welcome to the totally not re-recorded intro to Lights Out episode 114. EE, Cosmos Light, and special guest Charles Chuck Nasty is in the building with us today. Hope everybody is doing well and wonderful, and all the results of this past weekend were suitable, and all that other good-ish. So what's up? Who wants to talk? How's it going?
Citadel was not a major.
Oh, we're starting off like that. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting right into it.
All right. So Citadel, as you guys know, was won by Chilean sensation Toon. You know, Toon's rise at a young age to success in America reminds me of somebody else. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know. But yeah.
Bring out the list, man. Bring out the list.
Good job, dude. Winning,
I saw his
Citadel.
pop off. Do y'all know what he was saying in his podcast?
So the whole I watched this whole tournament. The crowd was literally like, they weren't really like booing so much, but they weren't cheering at all. They were cheering the hell for Yada. And then like you hear like some groaning and murmuring when Toon was winning. And then like, I guess you did hear a couple of boos. But then when Toon won, he like, I'll try to see if I can find it. He popped up and he was like, shut the up, shut the up, shut the up. It was really funny.
From rage into smile. Only
like,
Super Smash Brothers can bring out such emotions.
I'm on camera.
He was going ham, bro. Oh wait, I found it. Hold on, I'll put it on. Did you guys
Poor
see it?
Yauda. Yauda is probably. I don't give a fuck about
Back here doesn't find it.
Leo. I don't give a fuck about Zachary, Spargo, Tweak, Light in here. I don't give a fuck about him. Yauda is the most big brain player in the entire universe of Smash Brothers. Not even Smash Ultimate, Smash Melee, Smash 64, Smash Brothers, period. Yauda is the biggest brain player, so it's tragic to see him lose to Steve like that.
I mean,
it's Samus. Hold up. I will say, Yada has very impressive, like, to me, one of the, it's like brawl-like movement with a like floaty character, be reversing, things like that. I think anyone that has mastered that, and it, like the way Yada moves with Samus is very impressive, but then Yada also does like the very simple stuff. I will say that matchup looks rough though. Like, it's just so crazy to me when I think about Steve, and it's like, dang, block just stops projectiles. It just stopped, like minecart eating up neutral B. Because
go off, Chuck.
I mean, Samus's like the core of Samus's gameplay is off of neutral B. And when I'm watching that matchup, Yada plays well and has even taken sets off Aquila. But it's just crazy because you can't. It's one of those Samus matchups that neutral B loses its strength. Now, like when we think about Olimar, I mean, the Pikmin obviously negate that strength too, but I think Steve minecart, when Steve gets off the minecart block and things like that, can shut down charge shot too.
So you think that character is bullshit?
Wait, I just realized
obviously
something.
Steve is strong, but yeah.
I just realized something. Oh my God. Yo, we might need to do like a 3-hour episode right now because I just realized that you don't get to talk any of this on Tweak Talks. Y'all are so PG and humble.
That's
you can't
true.
Speak your piece on Steve, bro. Tell us how you really feel.
Go off,
Tell
Chuck.
us how you feel about what you saw.
Yeah, go off. Go on rant.
I mean,
Do you think
Bro,
Steve
like-
killed the game?
Like, let's talk about it, bro. Back in our day, yeah, I'm saying our day. I know I'm the youngest one here, but back in our day, Samus is fucking cringe. There's no way around it. I don't care how good you are. Samus just cringes, and we're rooting for that character.
oh yeah, we're down. I mean, all the cringe characters, I feel like when even Phil said this a lot when he was streaming. I watched a lot of your stream.
Hey,
Phil.
thanks, buddy.
Yeah, it was great. I was there for the crazy. How many subs did you get? Like someone was dropping like
I got
ads
150
on YouTube, right?
Yeah, on YouTube. It's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, so your stream was popping off, bro. But yeah, for especially during the weekend stuff. Most of the time I'm working, but I like to at least have like Phil stream on my phone while I'm working and stuff, and I'll try to like sometimes I'll just stop and watch some of the key matches or game 5 and stuff like that. But yeah, it's weird because one thing Phil says a lot, and as someone that I don't commentate as much anymore, but like the top 8 qualifiers are usually the most hype matches because it's usually like, even if there's Steve, there's still going to be Steve no matter what, but it's usually like there's some kind of hero character that you can cheer for. And the definition of hero characters, let me tell you, there was some characters that moved from villain to hero just because of Steve. Steve is just one of those characters. Because Samus used to definitely be a villain character, and now it's like you see like almost any character versus Steve, you're pretty much rooting for the other character. And then when you get into like top 4, that's when you just have cringe v cringe. So it's like well, it's like Sonic versus Steve. Well, shit, you know what I mean? Like,
bro, Steve is like fucking that. Steve is fucking Galeem in Darkon, bro. Like, Steve is fucking Taboo. We're over here watching Miami. You know, Sonic at the ending of Brawl, like at the ending of somebody's emissary, we see him like break Taboo's wings. That's what I saw when I was watching Winners Finals at Let's Make Moves. Because I just, every time I see somebody beating the Steve, bro, I'm like happy, but I'm also like taking a big sigh because I'm like, wait a minute, did I just root for Sonic? I swore to myself I wouldn't change. Like,
I mean, at least Sonic feels like, to me, at least Sonic still feels like a Smash character. It's just a very overtuned Smash character.
Yeah,
that like the way Sonic warps the game is through running away, and like usually running away and cornering yourself is really bad in Smash, but Sonic flips the script because he has spin dash, spin charge, and all this other shit, right? So I feel like how much Sonic warps the game doesn't feel as much as Steve. Like, Steve just completely warps the game to a point where, I mean, it just, the strategy just feels degenerate, where you just like put a wall up and then you're like, well, you can't roll through the wall, and you just watch this. Like, I've seen Steve players build a wall and just sit there, like stand there and just spam up tilt and kind of like move left and right. It's just like, okay, well, this is where we're at. Like,
I can move while
to me, it's just not right. It's just, I think certain things, when something is blatantly overtuned, it just doesn't feel as fun to watch, especially if you're watching someone, like if you've been a fan of Smash or played Smash for a long time and you just see someone, you're like, damn, this player's so good, and then the other player wins neutral maybe like 25 or 30% of the time, and then they just get smoked, and then the other player gets restocked or something. You're just like, dang.
Can I show you guys something?
It's like a weird feeling.
Can I show you guys something that I've never seen in the history of any tournament winner, like ever?
What's up?
Like, I've never seen this before, okay? I'm putting it on screen, but the congratulations to the winner of Ultimate at Citadel Ass had 0 upvotes on Reddit.
On Reddit?
I've never seen that in my life before.
What?
It has 1 right now, but it has...
Because it's you.
Was it you?
I might have went on... I might have been a little generous, but this 1 upvote, bro, I've never seen that before. And I was just like, damn, Toon, you won your first major. We'll discuss if it's really a major or not. And the people just they're not feeling it, bro. This is crazy. 1 upvote. It's been 2 days. How does this happen?
Reddit is toxic, man. Reddit.
So, like,
is
that
toxic.
Okay, so that upload either happened like now, like you did that, or happened the last 5 minutes? Because I clicked this when we started the podcast, and it's at 0 upvotes.
Still 0.
Toon's a nice guy. He's a nice kid. I didn't want to do him like that, but
I think you're actually wrong.
From lights out.
I think you're actually glitched. I just reloaded the page. It's still at 0.
Dang, Phil, you took it back. That's crazy.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Yeah, continue. Yeah, Steve sucks. Yeah.
Oh man, the thing that, before we get into the major thing, I mean, since we're still talking about Steve, I think the thing that makes it tiring for everyone, especially like the audience, is when you, and I realized this when I was watching Phil's stream, again, shout out to you, Phil, is that if everywhere you click, if there's 5 different tournaments going on at the same time in 5 different parts of the world, it's just being terrorized by Steve. And I'm not going to lie, you can call this a John, you cannot. People aren't playing their best at some of their regionals and their weeklies. Most of them, if we're being real, because people aren't, that's where we go to practice. If you are a top player, you go to those places to practice and make your money, you know? People can bring out the best of you, can play better. You are not warming up most of the time unless you were playing friendlies with a friend. You were just going there to practice, play, do what you got to do, right? And, you know, that's probably why you see a lot of these Steve mains always climbing to the top at the, like, the smaller events, because they don't really need to warm up. They just need to put block and spam up tilt on the other side of it and spam up tilt back air. And it's like, it's really fucked up that everywhere you go, you see this character and you just can't get enough. There's no refreshing side to it. You know, it's just so, it's so fucked up.
Yeah, and it also just feels more demoralizing the better Steve gets too, because I mean, even watching the set with Toon, there was still moments where Toon's doing like nil in the forward smash and just getting even earlier kills and stuff like that, which is if you know about nil and you see it and you know how hard it is, it like the technicality I can still appreciate, and just like pushing the game as far as possible is something I can appreciate. I just like Smash. So, but it just almost feels like there's a reverse effect because it is
Wasn't Nil
like
supposed
so
to be
strong.
banned? Or wait, no, that was something else, right?
That's some other broken tech that they can ignore hit stun or some shit that we can't even
LNG or
track.
some shit.
By the way, it's like we gotta like save the replay and be like, all right, hold up, like, was that true? Was it not true? Like,
Bro.
oh, yo, check this out.
Ban
Like, it's not-
planking
I-
mining
how
too.
even-
Imagine that. Imagine that in Melee. Like they'd be like, "Yo, did he just PMLG or was that a Phantom hit?" Like you just don't
PMLG,
know.
absolutely.
He's like, "Damn, he's getting Phantom hitted every game."
Yeah, it's
the luckiest
rough
player
because
alive.
you can't even tell when that even happens. And yeah, like planking on the I think that's the biggest one where a Steve player can just like literally abuse base game mechanics and grab the ledge over and over again, whether it be because when you go on the anvil, it counts as you hitting stage again, right? So right when you if you get off the ledge and you have to burn an iron, but you could technically anvil or like grab the ledge jump back up, anvil back down, and then come back to the ledge, you have your intangibility again. So I think that's the biggest oversight with Steve, because ever since Smash 4, they made it very clear that they don't want ledge planking to be a thing, or at least I assume they did, because they made it so when you regrab the ledge, you don't have your intangibility again. So that's the biggest one for me. And even if Steve players only do it for 20, 30 seconds, if you're getting materials, and yes, you can hit the crafting table, but it's like, bro,
It doesn't.
you're still
Is
defusing.
there a reason
you're
why they
defusing
don't do
pressure.
it for longer?
They probably just don't want it banned. It's like
'Cause it makes
I
no
feel like
sense
that's
to
like
me.
a break in case of emergency kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know what the rules for Melee are, but it's like HBox could technically plank the ledge and just time people out, but eventually he gets back onto the stage, right? I mean, I don't know everything about. I don't know too much about Melee rulings. and
Careful
stuff,
with
but-
that H-box hate. You're starting to sound like Leffin, buddy. All right.
Well,
I'm not hating. I'm just saying he doesn't do it.
Okay.
I know
Or at least
Brawl
I've never seen
had-
him do it like an entire match.
I
But
get it. You're
Brawl,
not
yes,
a company
players.
like you.
I
Players
saw
involved in
MDK
that,
do
yes.
it. I saw MDK
Yes.
do it for entire matches, and that's why that 40 ledge grab limit came to be.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the
It's
thing.
like
though.
30 something.
Can we even ban Steve things anymore? That's the real question, because we saw what happened with Max. Max did the no crafting thing, right? For the let's make moves. And obviously that was his own little workaround to like banning Steve. Like you could still play Steve, you just can't craft, right? And then some little 14-year-old Roblox Steve kid was like, yeah, that's not going to fly. He called in Sakurai because every Steve main has Sakurai on
the
speed dial.
snitches, yeah.
Yeah, and then Sakurai came in and hit the you can't do that, right? And maybe Steve Main's never tried that before. Maybe they never did the phone call for like the ledge ban because they were like, oh well, we could still do other stuff, right? But now that they know that they can do it, what if they just do it for everything? What if we can't even ban ledge planking anymore because Nintendo won't allow it? What if it just gets
Well-
that extreme?
Well, here's the thing, and this is why I think Steve should be banned, which obviously Steve can't be banned now. We just got confirmation that Steve cannot be banned by Max.
The snitches are out.
Yeah, I think
Steve player bases are snitches confirmed.
I think Steve should be banned because if you relate it to a scenario like in Brawl, Meta Knight was broken as, and he had broken as tech with the infinite dimensional cape glitch where he could just be invisible and intangible for like the entire match. But it was so obvious that he's doing that because he's literally not on the screen. There are some things for Steve that I think should be banned, like Charles said, with the infinite mining glitch, basically just planking under the stage and getting your regrab back and then going back under, planking and mining again, getting all the mass that you want, or like the PMLG. And honestly, I feel like Nil is broken as that could potentially be banned. But like all these stuff
Nah, it should be.
Yeah, all these stuff can accidentally happen to where like if it's banned, somebody could just accidentally PMLG and not even realize, or claim it's accidental and they got a strong case for it. Exactly. So it's like, that's why Steve should be banned, because he has all these stuff that are broken that's so broken that could be explained and portrayed as an accident or even done as an accident. So Steve is broken, changes the game, and you can't ban him because.
But
what?
can I make a suggestion of something I thought of that I thought was actually no. Now, no TO is ever gonna do it because they probably don't have the resources to do it. But hear me out. You can't ban Steve, right? But last time I checked, DLC is an optional content. What if all your switches at a tournament had every DLC but Steve available? Oh, we couldn't afford it.
Yo, no Fighter Pass 2. Fighter Pass 2 ban would
No.
probably
You don't buy a Fighter Pass 2. You just
we can ban Fighter Pass 2.
You just don't have Steve.
We can.
I mean, that's not illegal. That's
Fighter Pass 2.
It's an optional content piece.
And then if Nintendo gets mad, you respond to them like, okay, well, you have to pay for every sub that I want to buy Steve on.
And you hit him with the, no, I can't afford Steve's at this tournament. I just spent $70 on fucking Kirby Air Riders.
Have you seen the economy? I can't get Fighter Pass 2 on 50 switches.
Facts, bro. I would have gotten Fighter Pass 2, but you were too busy copy pasting the UI for Ultimate on the Kirby Air Riders. Like,
I'm just saying that's not the worst idea.
Is the game good?
No TO will have the balls to do it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It looks like one of those.
It's too expensive.
It looks like one of those like nostalgia pulls. Like, it doesn't look bad.
It looks good, but
like
it's too expensive.
I don't know. I don't. I never played Air Riders as a kid like that. I was more of a Mario Kart kid. So
I loved Air Ride, like Kirby Air Ride. That game was lit. That's why I'm like, I kind of don't want to play the game and ruin my nostalgia.
I don't know. I saw people having fun on it.
Everyone seems to like it. It's a Sakurai game. I'm sure it's great.
I mean, Sakurai is a really good game developer, right?
Right? Oh yeah, we were just talking about Steve.
He's like the games are really good until I no longer want them to be.
Yeah, give it 2 years.
Wasn't the Microsoft team the one that coded Steve? Oh, don't give Sakurai too much shade.
He said, "Wow, Kirby
went down.
Kirby Air Riders has been out for 3 years. I think I'll put Steve in this game."
What?
I will say something, a side note on just playing without Fighter Pass 2. One of the Throne side event ideas I pitched was base ultimate. Like literally getting a setup, wiping, like essentially deleting all the memory, putting, what up?
What up, baby?
You live? But essentially putting the...
I mean, we're recording, but, you know.
Oh. You're chilling. But yeah, essentially doing what? Base game, just straight up out the gate. I mean, there was some dumb things about Ultimate right out the gate that had to get patched out, but I'm not going to remind people about that, and then people could just play it. But yeah, that was an idea that I had for Throne. I think that could have been really fun. I mean, obviously, there's still characters like Sonic and Game & Watch that we didn't know was broken back then, but we now know are crazy broken. So
yeah, then we could get rid of that fucking up air nerf for Sonic. Up air is Sonic's best move in the entire game. I don't care what anyone.
Oh, true.
Says.
That move did get buffed.
It doesn't need a buff. Fox will be bottom 5 again because his down air doesn't work.
His down air doesn't work. Yeah. No parry mix-ups. Yeah, everyone gets a little piece of like. FGC characters are trash. Like, come on, guys. Like, I'm telling you.
Wolf is now a top 10 character.
I don't want to deal with Olimar's up smash again.
I don't want to deal with. Myron's the best player in the world.
Void is number 2 again.
Pichu's gonna be sick again too. That'd be great. I'd love
you guys gotta pick your poison, all right? You can't have everything. We gotta deal with like pre-patch Olimar if you want to get rid of Steve.
We could deal with base game. Like base game's fucked, but it's not. It's fucked. It was fucked for a group of people that like weren't actually that good at the game. I think there'd be more counterplay because at the end of the day, they're still Smash characters, and they're not nearly as overtuned as like some of the Smash characters we have right now. You know, there was some stupid, like up smash being safe on shield is stupid as. But Mario's
wait. Diddy Kong did have an infinite, a quite literal infinite.
That's fine.
Dang, man.
He just banned the infinite.
It was hard.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm honestly fine with it.
Let's ban Banana Pool.
You know what's crazy? We talk so like highly of Olimar back then, but Leo was smoking every Olimar player with Ike. Remember that?
Yeah, that's fucking.
Yeah,
isn't that funny? Like we're like, dude, Olimar was so crazy and broken, and then Leo's out here with the mid tier just naring.
I'm very proud to say that I was like the first person beating Leo with like versus Ike. I was like, what the fuck are y'all? What the guys? The parry button. Come on, like.
Yeah. For Genesis 6, it was you and Void were the only 2 players that made him go Lucina, I think, for that victory. So like that was like the first really, really big tournament in terms of East Coast and West Coast coming together. So that was cool.
That was a goblin.
It's so funny that he was just playing Ike and beating everybody. And it wasn't even his best character. He was just like, y'all don't deserve my Lucina yet.
I remember talking to Leo backstage at Genesis 6, and I was like, you don't think Ike is good, right? Ike's pretty trash. And he was like, yeah, Ike's not that good, but I'm going to abuse it for now. Ike was pretty much his set, which was pretty funny.
Fucked up.
Bro, dude was ahead of his time.
Yeah, he was
bro.
very ahead of. Yeah.
Bro, some people probably come on our podcast like, yo, you guys are just Leo meat riders. And you know what? We are. I love that guy.
You weren't there. You don't know what he did.
Bro, Leo at the after party on Phil's stream was like, I'm just saying the top two was Zamba and Sonics, and even though I got a terrible placement, last time I played both of them, I beat them. So what does that mean? And I'm just there like, whatever you say, King.
Yes, go. Yes.
You know what? Another interesting thing to do with Steve is at Supernova for Brawl, they made it so Meta Knight couldn't strike or counterpick stages. So like essentially, if you ever went up against Meta Knight in Brawl, for the Brawl bracket at Supernova, this last Supernova, you got to counterpick him like right off the rip.
No matter what.
Yeah.
This is for Brawl.
Yeah, I mean, but like you could still apply. Yeah, you could apply that to Steve as well.
And Meta Knight did not win Supernova.
Correct.
Last Supernova. So that's I think for Steve, I don't think Steve should ever be picking any stage. Like you're playing clearly the strongest character in the game. I don't think there's like any debate for that. And if you make it so Steve cannot strike stages and you just get to counterpick a starter stage against Steve game one and then counterpick the rest of it, like, and then Steve can still.
Wait. So do they still get a ban when you're counterpicking?
No.
Or no ban at all?
No ban. Damn. Always get counterpicked. Like, deal with it. Bro, in Ultimate, I feel like it has a bit of or it feels like it would have a bit of more of an impact because you can manipulate what materials you're fighting against.
Yeah.
And not to mention, they can't plank on every stage.
That's a big one, yeah.
Also a big deal. So I actually think that would be an incredible thing that probably no one's going to incorporate, but it's like pretty big. I think if you were to, he would still be broken. That's the thing. You can take away the stage banning. You can take away nils. You can take away PMLG. You can take away planking. The character himself, when he is on that stage placing blocks, is still the best character in the game. He just has all this extra for no reason. I think it's valid to take away at least banning stages. You're literally not taking away any of their kit whatsoever. You're just taking away their ability to decide. And they did that to me, Cosmos, and Phil for like in all of the 1900s and downwards. Like
that hits a little harder when I consider my birthday's in like a week.
Damn.
And we came out fine. Like,
yeah, we're great. Kidding me?
But on a serious note, though, I do think that would actually be an incredible ban, and I don't know why we haven't tried it yet.
Well, I mean, Supernova happened recently, and I just seeing that and talking to people that were running the Brawl tournament or competing in the Brawl tournament, and that like just hearing Brawl is a game where there's an indefinite number one, and I think Ultimate's at that point too. So looking at how, I mean, obviously the Brawl community is a lot smaller, but I think there's similarities in that sense. So, and because I don't think Steve has necessarily done this, but Meta Knight pretty much created the landscape of what stages could be legal or not. There's so many like low or mid tiers that were like, oh man, I'm crazy on Brinstar. And it's like, well, whatever you think your character can do on some weird wacky stage, trust me, Meta Knight can do that times 20. Like, so it kind of, he crafted the landscape of competitive Brawl because he was so polarizing and so strong. So I think Steve's getting to that point too. So I think we could just.
I think Steve's been at that point now. On that point, with the whole Steve conversation. So this spawns from Toon winning. And congrats to Toon. He had to win two sets. He had to win 2 sets because Yada 3-0'd him in winner. So he had to win 2 sets. So good on you for that. But on regards to Citadel being a major or not being a major, how you guys are starting to kind of look at this despite whatever ranking system is out there. What were your guys' thoughts about that? You don't consider this a major win in your eyes, by your standards, right? You got higher standards than that. Is that fair to say?
Looking at it now, I can see like maybe like tipping around it, but even then, I'm just like, who's the highest ranked player there? Is it Syrup? And he's like 12. Is Asimo like a top 10?
Yeah, Asimo's top 10, right?
Asimo?
He's top 10?
I think so.
Right? Pretty sure he is.
Okay,
Yeah, pretty sure he is.
Okay, so Asimo and Syrup are probably the highest rated there. But I don't know. It just doesn't. You know, you just get that feeling when you look at the list of names in top 32. You're like, is this a major? Like, would you have looked at this tournament unbiasedly with no ranking system?
So that's the thing. And then you click on one of the other tournaments that happened, and then you look at the top 8 or the top 5, and you're like, this already looks like a major. The other tournament, we're going to get into it later.
Real quick, I wanted to look up, and I'm gonna put it on the screen. I wanted to look up who is top 10, and I found this Luminosity website with the 1 through 10. So I'm just gonna send this to you guys.
Oh yeah, what's this link?
I want you guys to click on this, and you tell me if you see the same thing as me.
Damn.
Page not found.
Hey, let's go Luminosity.
I'm starting to think that money's not coming anytime soon. All right, continue.
All right. Yeah, well, yeah. What were you saying, Cosmos?
I forgot. That's tragic.
Yeah, that's fucking depressing.
That's tragic. Wait, so does that mean that like there's not going to be a second half top 10? This is not going to be a top 10 period.
It's not Lumi rank anymore. It's alt rank. Maybe that's why they went back to alt rank. I don't know.
Yo,
but
wait,
it's the same rank? People.
You guys can start your own ranking. Luminosity's out of here. You know what I mean? You guys can swoop through. You guys can be like, all right, we're gonna actually like say what tournaments are majors and what are not. And it's you guys just have 2 different rankings for tournament: major, not major.
One by the pros would be pretty respected, actually.
Bro, can you imagine that, bro? Just like you look at that tournament. Oh, this guy's going. No, he's trash. This shouldn't be.
You do bad at a tournament. You're like, actually, nah, that wasn't a major.
Nah.
Yeah. What happened to your camera, buddy?
Oh, shit, my camera might have died.
All right.
It's not.
Anyway,
did AI hack into your camera? Cosmos, come back.
Do you guys not have dummy batteries?
I did, but Hack's using it right now.
Okay. Anyway,
well, I mean, to be fair, his complexion's not that. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a big thing is like people don't really think about it. Is like there used to be tournaments that I don't know how do you guys feel about this as like older players that like saw how it was back then even more than me. It's like you guys, California used to have monthlies all the time in SoCal when SoCal was like the strongest area in the country, right? And you guys would have Larry there, you guys would have Void there, you would have Elegant, you would have the Rosa. Is that Fallen?
Fallen.
You guys had a bunch of players that were really good, but we labeled those tournaments in certain ways. You knew what that tournament was when you were going to that tournament, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, if those tournaments were just majors every time, it would obviously be kind of unfair because I think they were still tiered like in their monthly rank, but like they weren't considered a major because literally every California event would have been a major, right?
Yeah, which was actually rules to prevent California locals to be considered for ranking. So like, you know, was at 2GG events, there was obviously the MSM. MSM was a very popular, if you didn't watch Smash 4 too much and you just came in on Ultimate, MSM was like the biggest local that would happen. It was like MSM and Xanadu were the 2 big locals. You had like, and I'm talking thousands of viewership, thousands of views on Twitch, especially back then, which was crazy for a Smash local. Right. Yep. So Xanadu and MSM hit these numbers, and Xanadu was like the East Coast version, and then MSM was the West Coast version. 2GG had these monthly events that pretty much like had multiple top 10, top 5 players all the time. They were called sagas. And then after every one of the sagas, most of the players would actually stay one more day to play it at the MSM. But those MSMs weren't considered for ranking because it was considered not fair for some of the other regions, which I think is crazy because Now we look at Japan, and I don't know if we exactly have the same restrictions. Or like, I don't know if Japan has to deal with the same restrictions as SoCal had to deal with back in Smash 4. But that was back when Panda was running the rankings. So it was like, it was different.
The GOAT.
Once again, Alan ahead of his time.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
okay.
So I think having those restrictions is fair, at least for a local level. Like these locals that everyone just shows up to just because it's like, oh, well, all the talent comes here. Because there was a lot of SoCal players that were ranked top 50 because of the Sagas and opportunities. Like, I'm not saying that they weren't actually top 50 in the world, but you can argue that those players got the most amount of opportunities. Like in terms of region, SoCal at a certain point in Smash 4 got the most amount of opportunity. And then you could argue the same thing for Tri-State back in Brawl, or like when SoCal started dying off and after 2GG dipped out. Now I would say in the US, not like globally it's Japan, but in the US I would say Tri-State, if you were to be a Smash player and just be like, I'm going to move to this place just to play Smash, don't recommend. But if you were to do that, it would probably be Tri-State, right?
Tri-State's better than LA, but anyways. Okay, so the thing is, it wasn't also just at the local level though, right? Like it wasn't just the weeklies. Like it was like that at monthlies as well. You guys would have really stacked monthlies, and they wouldn't just become majors, you know?
Yeah,
and
Leo came down to a lot of the monthlies too. Like Leo would come out to almost every single 2G monthly. It was insane.
And he was undisputed best player in the world. Like it was crazy. So that's what I'm saying. And the thing is, people obviously Japan had less opportunity back then, right? But people are still underplaying the out of Japan. Japan back then still had Ken, still had like Renai when he was playing, still had Abadango, still had Shuton, still had T, who was up and coming. He still had a good amount of players, and those people were still at the same events all the time, right? It's just every event they went to wasn't considered a major, because that's just not how we did things back then. You know, I feel like in this act of trying to include everyone so hard, we just gave everyone an opportunity to make anything a major, you know? Like if we want to communicate it, we can literally boost Tri-State to make our monthlies into majors. If we just communicated everyone to be there, we realistically could do that, you know? But it probably shouldn't be that way, which is how it is. And it really skews who really is like top 50, right? I feel like even if we had to travel to Japan, I feel like if you have these designated events, how it was before, that were like in this major section, then, you know, more people would show up to that because they're now special, instead of being like, oh, I can just go to a major next week. And we would have like a more accurate representation of who's actually where they need to be in terms of the rankings.
I think Panda used to do these certain multipliers for regions where it would cap out at a certain point. So if we think about how Panda did it, I think of anyone that did the rankings, I mean, I don't think Panda was perfect by any means, but I think Panda was the cleanest
Best
in terms of execution for sure. Yeah, like, and I think there's a pretty large gap on top of that. I'll stand on that opinion, but the way I believe the way it worked before, it was like certain regions capped out at so many tournaments. So it's like, okay, when you consider the US, it's like, okay, consider like, I mean, this is just for example, I don't remember off the top of my head, but like the best 3 or 5 major tournaments in America weigh this much, and they weigh the same amount as the top 5 in Japan, just to like even the playing field, because obviously, and this is when Japan benefited from the equalizer. Back when Panda did it. So like Japan's top 3 or 5 tournaments would be weighed very similarly to the top, 3 or 5 in different regions. And it was a way to try and equalize the playing field. And I feel like right now I will say, I mean, eventually Panda got to a point where they could, like, they had employees, they could pay them and stuff like that. So I don't expect the same quality of a ranking system now, because I know now it's more of a passion project. Before it was Lumi, and I don't even know if Lumi was really paying anyone and how much they were paying them, and
everything is great.
Got paid. So it's like, even though there was an org that was doing the rankings before, it, I guess, didn't look clean, or at least worse. I'm seeing the aftermath. I'm not like super connected with anything Luminosity, but seeing the aftermath, I'm like, oh, I guess it wasn't as clean as Panda. So I don't expect the same quality, but I do think that it is getting out of hand, because there is a snowball effect, and it's going to continue to snowball. And especially when you're talking about an infrastructure like Tokyo, specifically Tokyo, where and a lot of players that are really good live in Tokyo or close enough to Tokyo where the public transportation is really good. This is why Tri-State was very strong during Brawl and like I would say last half of Smash 4 or like Ultimate or whatever, where you have at least above average public transportation. And the public transportation in Japan or Tokyo specifically is phenomenal. And then when you look at like SoCal compared to a place like Tri-State, like at least Tri-State, I know the public transportation is the least serviceable there, right? Whereas SoCal,
if you don't mind the smell of piss, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can get to point A or B. You know what I'm saying? And in SoCal, you can't really do that with public transportation. It's like you need to have a vehicle out here or spend a crap ton of money on an Uber. But I feel like for Tokyo specifically, tournaments in Tokyo, you can get a lot more of your talent out because it's cheaper, more effective transportation, right? That's a very big deal.
I agree.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how you equalize it. I mean, maybe Ult Rank can figure out some capping system or something, but
wait.
Yeah, Panda did have a lot of those things to try and equalize the playing field.
So with that said, because there's something else like pertaining to the rankings that I wanted to address too. So now people are telling me this. I didn't fact check it 100%, but I'm pretty sure this happened before, so I think it's probably pretty reasonable. People are saying that some events that already happened are going to be retroactively raised because of like Toon's win, for example. Like I think Riptide now becomes a P tier. I think that now becomes a P tier because he becomes worth more points, so they go back and retroactively adjust. What do you think about retro? Before. Yeah. What do you think about adjusting things like that? I think it's dumb as hell, personally. It's like my future self went back in the past. Like what?
No, bro. If you were back then you were still back then. If you got boosted in the future and you are good now, then it should mean more now. So like if Toon goes to an event next month and it's like, oh well, he just did this, so his rank has gone up, so now this means more, that makes sense. But you can't go back in time. If you didn't have good results before, then it doesn't matter. If you were 20 before, you were still 20. I don't know why this is so hard to understand. I don't know why everyone is trying to be so different. Just use common sense, man. Like,
yeah, honestly, Smash is already too different, and obviously you can't see me, but I look pissed as right now. But Smash is already
I think I can see you just fine.
Smash is way too different to the point where it's like it's not like really any other sport. Like I don't know of a sport, maybe I'm not too in tune with sports, but I don't know any other sport where like when your win on a specific person helps with your ranking, if there's even a ranking. I don't even think that's a thing. And on top of that, depending on the player's ranking, then causing the tournament to be like tiered also does not happen for tournaments or events for sports or any competition. They usually just like, okay, well, this tournament is gonna be a major, so you go or you don't go, and that's how
it should be. We should have designated tournaments that are deemed as that, and that doesn't mean that the smaller events shouldn't be like for the rankings. They should still be for the rankings. They just shouldn't be majors unless it is deemed so beforehand. Jesus Christ.
We just got an update from production.
They're gonna love it. They're gonna love it.
But yeah, I think on this topic, it's like what we were talking about before in terms of like capping certain regions out. Like that's the kind of direction I want to see effort getting put into the rankings. And again, this is just like me being greedy and asking for something, even though I know Ult Rank had a Patreon and stuff like that too. So if you guys do want to support Ult Rank to see some of these things, definitely check them out on their Patreon, because I think supporting any group of people that want to have rankings, I think rankings are important. I know they can be annoying, right? Because it's very subjective on how to do it, because we're just getting so many different tournaments and try to make we're trying to bring all this information together and make one list, which is pretty tough to do, right? So I think
what's going on?
What?
Keep going.
Oh, okay. But I
can't hear nobody. Why can't I hear anybody?
You're staticky now, Cosmos.
Cosmos, just hang up the call and rejoin. You're ruining the frame.
Yeah, kick him out the call.
But what do you call it? So I think I wish effort would be put into the direction of like figuring out how to equalize certain things, because that's what Panda did before, and I thought it worked out nicely when everything was concentrated in the US, and I think it made it a little bit more fair. But instead we're using the effort of the rankings to go back in time and like shift around these ranking numbers because someone did better in the future. And like, whether you agree with it or not, I'm like, I would rather that effort be put into other things. And I still don't agree with that. Like, my stand on it is that if you did better 6 months later or 3 months later, then at that point, like pretty much the same opinion is like, at that point, that's when it should matter. And I think going back and like trying to make a win on a specific player because they did better a month later is pretty troll. So,
it's pretty troll, bro.
Unless it just, the only justification I can see is if it makes it easier to run the numbers and it just saves time in general, then maybe I can see it. It just depends on the justification. But again, I would rather see some kind of equalizer, I don't know, mechanic within the rankings. I think that would be just better time spent.
What I will say is I understand whoever does these rankings, you guys don't really get paid for this stuff. I understand this is a community effort, and I do genuinely appreciate you for putting the effort in, because this effort that you put in is how people like me are able to pay for the jobs that we have. You know, they see like ranked top whatever, and they're like, they want to hire that guy for everybody. So I do appreciate that effort in. And I wish, you know, maybe if there was a community funded thing where people put in a little bit of money to like support these people, I probably would put that money in, because I do want this stuff to be properly done, because it does decide my future and everybody else's who actually consider this to be a job. So that being said, I would just appreciate if they could hear our opinion a little more on this stuff, because I think the main things that bother me about it is the backtracking. I think that's really bad. What's deemed a major, and most importantly to me, thank you for linking the Patreon. Somebody link that in our description. Honestly, that would be a big help.
Put it in there.
And the thing that's most important to me is, please just do 2 separate rankings. Don't do one ranking with a half year checkpoint, because one, that will lock most people to be doomed. If your half year can be very important, most of our most important tournaments happen in the half year. Don't do that. Do 2 half year rankings. I think that's way more important. And I think it's also important for the fact that where we are at right now in Smash, where our game is not dead community wise, but definitely dead viewership wise, if you want people to stay interested, they need to have big things to look forward to. So when people see 2 halves, they see the rankings are dropping, and people can look at that twice. When you do the half year ranking, it demotivates the players who are already in the first half, because they know that they're pretty much stuck there if they're not living in certain regions. So I do think that's like the most important change that you can make.
I like
and
it.
it's like, there's just not as much tournaments as before. I could kind of justify a 6-month ranking if it was active, like pre-quarantine ultimate, it was lit, or even like right post-quarantine, like right after quarantine, and it was, you know, the next year or 2, it was pretty crazy, because it was like, oh, we're back, and there's like a crap ton of tournaments. But now I can see the justification for 1 year.
Yeah, I would like to say that again, we understand it takes a lot to make these things happen, and we appreciate it, and we will always appreciate it. But fellas, is it safe to say that coming up with all these algorithms and Pythagorean theories on how to enlighten and make the rankings better,
You're kind of hungry.
You probably get a little hungry, right? Yeah, get a little hungry.
Well, low key also put this on the screen, because Steve players need to have a better diet. Just like Quandale Dingle-Lingleton said himself, he wants to fix his diet. So how can he fix his diet?
This is so funny with you not on the screen. All right, guys, let's talk about today's sponsor. Our friends are back at HelloFresh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I know what you're thinking. HelloFresh, we haven't seen them in a while. That's because you haven't seen your ding-a-ling in a while, Tubbs. It's time to get right, okay? Because let me talk to you right now. HelloFresh is the #1 meal kit in America, making cooking easier with chef-crafted recipes and fresh ingredients delivered straight to your door. This fall, they're serving up more to love, and this isn't HelloFresh you remember. It's a brand new HelloFresh. Let's talk about healthier. Feel great with an even healthier menu. You could choose from 15 plus high protein recipes each week with option like the grass-fed ribeye or lamb chops. That sounds delicious. HelloFresh helps you eat greener with new veggie-packed recipes, and they have 2 veggies or more per dish. It's crazier. How about a little tastier too? Everybody likes a good, you know what I'm saying, a good little menu, a good little meal. You can get some steak and some seafood recipes delivered every week as well at no extra cost, okay? We're talking about 3 times the seafood options, okay? Savor the season with a hearty fall recipes like the classic beef chili or honey glazed pork tenderloin. Discover new seasonal product meals every week, from leeks to broccoli to Italian eggplant and more. It's crazy. Now, me personally, I know I'm going to be alone for this holiday season, Thanksgiving. So it's very important that I'm going to be able to cook a meal that prevents those tears from just dripping down my face as I eat alone like the loser I am. But you guys don't have to be a loser. You can be a winner with our friends at HelloFresh, okay? Personally, if I needed a product, I'd take this one. The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/lightsout to get 10 free meals plus breakfast for life, okay? 1 per box with an active subscription. That's crazy. Free meals applied as a discount on the first box, of course, and new subscribers only. You know, the plans do be varying, but that's what we do. That's HelloFresh.com/lightsout to get 10 free meals plus breakfast for life. Nom, 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 nom.
Seafood. I'm always on for a good seafood menu, man.
Absolutely.
Man, I'm actually like genuinely hungry.
As you should be.
It's time.
Put that subscription in right now. Okay.
There you go.
Well, there you go. Well, with that said,
No.
Huh?
We never really answered the question.
Wait, what was the
To
question?
sum up our stream, our entire stream was based. Our entire video was based around it, but we never actually got to conclusion. So I think it's time
Wait,
to
what's
ask
the
before we end.
conclusion?
Was it a major?
Well, you already said at the very beginning of the podcast that no, it wasn't.
Cut it to the front. No.
I don't know, because
Well,
like I look at this. I judge a top 8 by its talent pool, and like I look at this top 8, and I'm like, okay, you got Toon, Yada, Ouch, Asimo, Syrup. That's top 8 contention, no doubt about it. And then I see, there's no disrespect, I see Apollo Kage at 5th. See Ash9 at 7th. Okay, I like that. I like my boy Ash9. I'm glad he had a breakthrough.
Shady.
Elijah Ben have a little breakthrough. I like that too. Then I see, no, this isn't a shade to them because I'm looking down and then I see Mutace at 9th. Like, Mutace at 9th? Like, well, you know what I mean? Like, I see Mutace at 9th. I do expect it to be like a major level event. You know what I'm saying? I see AK at 5th. I'm like, okay, did AK get back into form where he was performing and getting those top 8s at majors? You know what I mean? So it's not a shade thing. I'm saying, like, I can see justification there where you might like be on the side of like, oh, but you know, what about Sir Dank? Well, you niggas didn't see Sir Dank, okay? Because that Falcon put Ouch in the losers at the beginning. It was crazy, okay? So
That is crazy.
that was amazing. So I could see, and then Cola's at 17th. I'm like, okay, Cola at 17th seems like a major. You know, it's
And
just
then Dark Wizzy at 25th. It's gotta
just,
be a major.
Yeah, it's just stuff like that. You know what I mean? It just goes back and forth. But you
Shiny
guys,
Mark at 25th.
yeah, Mark at 25th too. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm glad even before this, he probably wasn't going to get into it now, but before the podcast, Light was saying he agrees with me now, saying that super regionals do exist. And this was a super regional, not a major. There's a difference.
I
How
will
many
say,
new names for tournaments do we have to add, man?
okay, I will say I was making the same point as Phil. I can see where it could possibly be a major. I can see that. I do still kind of agree with Cosmos though, but I think most importantly, I think we should try to have some labels beforehand, like, yo, this is a major. Are you coming or not? Like,
Yes, I think that's how tournaments should be. That's how all sports are.
I think it's literally how us.
We have a tier system, do we not?
Yes, but
The tier system is based on the players being there. That's the issue.
yes, that's
So what
based
tier
on
was this tournament?
It was A tier.
A.
Okay, cool.
It was A plus, but then I didn't show up.
No, but like that's not what we're saying. Like what we're saying is that tournaments should be tiered C, B, A, or S before players even sign up for the event.
And if you don't show up, that is on you. That is how real sports are. And again, I get it. Include everyone. Oh, But at the end of the day, these do decide careers. And if they decide careers that can be professional, then these tournaments need to be professional.
Yeah, and all you have to do is pay Lumi rank, X amount of dollars, and your tournament too can be S plus no matter who shows up.
Lumi
I
rank
don't
doesn't
care if
exist
every
anymore,
fucking
Chuck.
tournament in the
Or
world.
not Lumi rank,
is-
I mean O rank.
I don't care if every fucking tournament in the world is a major. If you state it before, okay, I care if every tournament, but if you state it beforehand, that will make things like, that's just how it would be. It'd be better.
See, I just a big issue with Smash is that it's a bunch of individual tournament organizers, and then
Yes.
who's gonna be the tournament organizers? Like, yo, man, US is already capped out with X amount of S plus tiers. You got to be the A tier, or you got to, you know what I'm saying? It
It could be
it's
you,
really hard
Chuck.
because
It could be Throne.
Next match game, right?
Now that you're mentioning like the other regions, I feel like that would be a perfect solution, actually. Just being like, okay, we're gonna
to
make sure
incentivize
Japan
travel,
yeah. And like to not make it unfair, because the reason why Japan has so many S tiers is because of the fact that it's based off of player tiering and player entrance. So if it's already tiered, okay, we're gonna make sure this season there's only gonna be 4 S tiers in Japan, and there's only gonna be 4 S tiers in America, and you gotta go. Low key, it's still like not so balanced because traveling within Japan is way easier compared to traveling within the United States, but it's still way more balanced than what we have now. So I
Does Street
think
Fighter
that
have
would make a lot
ranking
more sense.
system?
Well, we're getting in the territory of you guys are living in a
Wait.
world, or like this. Oh, what's up?
Sorry, does Street Fighter have a ranking system, or is it just I'm gonna win the best tournaments, the most important tournaments?
You're gonna win that milli or whatever, right at the end of the Capcom Cup. Like with Capcom, the developer is directly tied, and they have these grassroots tournaments that circuit into Capcom Cup, and that's like the big tournament that you want to win with the big prize money. And I don't even think ranking matters at that point, because it's just like, oh well, I won this tournament, I won that tournament, and I don't even know if there is a ranking, but yeah.
That's like, I think that's pretty cool how they do it, but I guess it just depends on what resources you guys have.
I mean, the dream world we're living in is if we got a whole bunch of TOs from different countries to all get together in a room and agree upon something. And remember, running tournaments isn't like the most profitable thing. Look at how many tournaments aren't even around anymore. We've lost so many tournaments. So it's like, it's hard to, what we're trying to think of, to me, it just doesn't even feel feasible, because we're just thinking about it. It just doesn't seem possible. And that's why
Like the 5 Kage Summit. Like the 5 Kage Summit, but like the TOs, right? Yeah.
But I think it low-key is because like all of the major, super major tournaments are consistent. Like there's always a Kaguribi, there's always a Genesis, there's always a Supernova, there's always like a Kulon. So there's always a Umebroda. So there's always like those kind of tournaments, and I'm pretty sure there's a consistent series in like Europe. There's Smash Factor in Mexico. So there is always those kind of events that are pretty stable and consistent that you could at least pilot it with.
Yeah, like the shell is there, but there's going to be so much conflicting interest, because it's like, okay, what justifies a tournament to be in that tier or not? And then some TOs will feel like they deserve to be in that tier.
That's true.
And not be in that tier, right?
Yeah.
That's why.
And that's why we needed Panda Global.
Well, Panda was such a godsend because it was the connection to the developer.
That's
and
just
there
what
was
it
like
comes down to every time.
Correct. Yeah. And that's why, I've had people ask me where it's like, oh, do you think Nintendo coming in and like controlling everything, quote unquote? And I mean, obviously that's like, it kind of depends on how much control and stuff, but I think Nintendo coming in and regulating things is just, that would be a good thing, because then we would have a sense of like, okay, these are the tournaments that I guess matter, and there will probably have to be sacrifices that get made in terms of what tournaments are part or not part of whatever circuit or however they want to run it. But essentially there's a governing body, right? I think that's what Smash is missing, because it's just a bunch of independent tournaments. So you can't really, it's so hard to have things like ranking or like a solidified circuit if there's not someone controlling it or organizing it at the top, right? So I think that's what the big thing that Smash is missing. And I wish we lived in a world where every TO we could have a Kage summit and everyone comes together, everyone shakes hand, everyone's smiling, and everyone just agrees on everything. But unfortunately,
there's always gonna be a Sasuke in the room, bro. There's always gonna be a Sasuke.
There's always gonna be a Sasuke. There'll always be a snake in the grass, man.
Well, good thoughts. I do have one more other thing I did want to touch on while I have you guys here, and I think it's a good topic and it's a funny topic. So, well, first I'll open this up by saying, I'll put this on the screen. So there was a tournament that happened. Zamba was overseas. He won it. Hall of Frames. He beat Raru. So shout out.
That's a good name for a tournament.
Yeah, Hall of Frames. Yeah, I thought that was pretty balling. So Zama got first, Raru got second, then T got third, Shuton fourth. So Japan hold that American D right there. My boy Zama.
Good go.
There you go. And then yeah, Susu and Gluto got fifth as well. And yeah, so a lot of good people at this tournament for sure. Congratulations to Zamba. But Zamba, if you guys know, is currently a free agent. So what did Zamba decide to do? He's going to parlay that win into reminding people like, hey, I'm a free agent and also I'm a coach, okay? Now, somebody tweeted, this young man, Zabarian tweeted, hopefully no one is falling for the top player coaching scheme. Being told advice 20 other YouTube videos could tell you for $20 is insane, right? Zamba obviously took exception to that and goes off on this rant, bringing up Zabarian's, I guess, rankings or whatever this is. Proceeds to say it's always the dumbest effers in the world who always got something to say. Then go watch those YouTube videos and get yourself out the gutter, whack ass. Always on some bullshit to say. Go stick to being a pot filler loser bitch on Twitter and suck my nuts, troglodyte.
Pot filler.
Good, you know.
Did he say troglodyte?
He said troglodyte, man, and he spelt it right too. Troglodyte, man.
Wait, who said troglodyte? Wait, I stopped paying attention. Is this Zom? Oh, Zom did.
I linked it. I linked it in the thing.
And he put the middle finger.
He put the middle finger right there.
You call it troglodyte? Yeah, that's the most like I'm white and you're not thing I could have did.
Yeah, what is this guy's ethnicity? He looks like a little brown.
Let me see.
Troglodyte.
Nah, he's a bro. What you mean?
Is he? Okay, all right. Maybe he's.
Yeah.
All right. Either way, this and Zamba are currently beefing, and I saw some people saying like, oh, you're going too far and stuff like that. I think you niggas aren't going far enough. Personally, I thought it was hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
make trash talk great again.
Low key, Zamba, are you really gonna sit there and take that?
Who was going too far?
No, I saw some comments saying this is going too far or whatever. And I was like, this is hilarious. We need more stuff like this, bro. You got something to say about something that's good. And I thought the coaching aspect was interesting because all three of you actually do coaching. So I was like, is it true? Are people getting ripped off? Could they just learn all this stuff on a $20, say $20 and go to YouTube? Did he learn anything? I did a lesson right before this.
I did a lesson literally 30 minutes before this, and my boy Spencer from Long Island shout out to Spencer, literally said, thank you so much. I feel like I'm getting a lot of progress. I'm playing way better than I ever have, and it works. On top of that, first of all, let us get our bag, right? I could go on for this for hours. Let us get our bag. We're helping people who want to be helped. We're not forcing anybody to fucking digest our content. If you want help, and you want to pay for it, you can. If it's really that bad, you don't have to pay for it. If you talk to us, we're usually going to be very understanding, that we're very communicative, right? But I hate Twitter niggas. So like that's not a secret. When I saw this, I don't even think Zamba should have replied. I think Zamba should have sent that video from the Boondocks when they're having a moment and was like, wait a minute, I'm white. Like that's what I would have done if I was Zamba. I think he would have won right there. He would have had 1 million fucking likes if he did that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have humored this. I humor Twitter very occasionally because it's just a fucking, everyone knows it. It's just a website where people need to hate and state their opinion because no one else could fucking hear it in real life. So who gives a like Zamba? You're winning, bro. You don't need to state this. Who even gives a if you get ratioed? Because at the end of the day, these niggas are living in your bag, getting mad about some that you're doing. So keep talking your. Keep doing your thing. Who gives a about what these niggas say? You're living in their head rent free. These niggas, bro. But yeah, that's just me.
I feel like with coaching, it's like, I mean, I don't do much Smash coaching or even go on Twitter nowadays, but I feel like if you want to spend your money on coaching, and if Smash is that important to you that you trade the money that you earned for coaching, that's completely fine. I mean, it just depends on what you want to do with your money. I feel like this falls into the realm of getting offended for other people. It's like
pocket watching,
okay,
bro. It is a little pocket watching.
yeah, it's like okay, other people are spending their money on something that you don't think that you should spend your money on. And I'm not gonna lie, I've had lessons where some people are not coachable, or at least like you got to find the right coach for you, right?
Niggas is dumb.
So that's like a
Niggas is
I mean, there's.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I mean, I've just had some coaching sessions where like people are arguing with me and stuff. It's like, damn, if you wanted my opinion on something and you think I'm like wrong, then why are you even here? If you think forward smashing at ledge at 30% for a ledge trap is good, then like, and I'm telling you it's not, and you're arguing with me, like, why are we doing this? Like,
okay,
you know
this is
what I mean?
like the tweet talks. This is like the tweet talks variation, though. Honestly, like lights out variation. Let me tell you, just straight up, this is the equivalent. Y'all guys saw that shit that was trending a couple like months ago, where it's like black people will make fun of anything. They'll be like, "Yo, this eating. This is what this is. I hate it." It's like, "Yo, this is trying to make a living. Yo, this thing is a clown." It's like, what?
Yeah,
like this thing is so stupid trying to have a successful future. Look at him, smart ass.
Bro's trying to put food on the table.
What an intricate ass. Like, oh my god.
Y'all are crazy.
It's like, bro, we're really making fun
Bro's
of
trying to
Zombo
build
for
his
trying.
brand.
Oh my god, this wants to build a community. We're really laughing at him for trying to make money. Like,
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I guess a lot of people don't know what to do with their time. To me, I'm like, man, I feel like there's so many other things I would rather do in terms of like my priority list of things to do. Doing this feels like at the very bottom. There's just so many other things I'd rather do with my time. But hey, some people are out here.
I don't really understand it myself. It's just fucking weird to me. I will say another thing that happened on Twitter that's been really pissing me off. There's been a tweet that's going around about people saying, name your number one like Smash like controversial take, right? And
the hot takes tweet thing. I saw it.
You see that shit, right?
Yeah.
And that tweet pisses me off. It disgusts me with this fucking community. It hates me. It makes me hate most people on it because every one of those tweets that are getting traction have nothing to fucking do with Smash. It has something to do with everything revolving around it regarding to canceled people, how we like deal with certain canceled people, what it has to do with them. It has nothing to do with the actual fucking game. And that's why none of you are good at the game. You bunch of social orphans who are just here, not actually getting involved with our real community, playing the game, getting better, entering your weeklies. You guys don't care about the community. You guys just want something controversial to talk about. And I fucking hate it, bro. Like, play the game. Like, the actual community of people who play our game is so fucking cool. If you just talk to them from every country,
Yeah.
US is the worst one as it seems because we're the only ones who either give a fuck about this or they're just the only ones I see. But that gets me so fucking heated, man.
Wait. EE, am I still the angry black man?
No, I took it off.
Put it back.
All right. After what
Wait,
he just said,
do you want to be angry?
Me now? No, make me that now, because that was me after he was talking, bro. He was going off, man. I was like, hey, yo, he said social orphans. I gotta steal that one.
Bro, most of the people, I'll say it every day of the week, most of the people in our community, we are one of the biggest games of all time, literally on that list of like the top 50 games. Most of the people in our community are literally social orphans who don't know what to fucking do with themselves. They come, they barely play the game, they're just chatting it up and starting controversy. That's what social orphans are. I just see you here ruining my community. It's been like that for so long, and I fucking hate it. It's so annoying.
Smash 4 Twitter felt so much more real and organic because at least when I was talking to someone about Smash on Twitter back in Smash 4, it felt like I was actually talking to someone that went to their locals, would go to tournaments. I feel like in Ultimate, I never got that feeling, or at least like early ult, I kind of got it. And then once the game started blowing up and stuff, that's when I felt like just a bigger disconnect. And it's just kind of why I stopped going on social media in general, at least for Smash, because it just
go to the comment sections.
Real.
Go to the comment sections of all the YouTube videos. Go to the ones from early ult, and then go to the ones from nowadays. If you go to the ones from early ult, you're going to see people having constructive takes, talking about how they love watching these players play. You could see Cosmos beating me. Let's just say you see Cosmos beating me at CEL, right? People are like, wow, Light played really fucking good this set, but Cosmos's adaptation was just really good. If me and Cosmos play tomorrow, Cosmos is so dog shit, bro. I fucking hate watching him play. Light barely is good at, like, it just goes from people actually being passionate about the game to like whatever we have left is just like a bunch of sour people who don't actually care, that just want to spread negativity. And I hate it.
Yeah, I could not agree more on that sentiment, because it's sad but true. Which is honestly one of the reasons I do want a new game so much. I think it'll pump some positive life force back into the community,
Hopefully.
and kind of give us a little bit of a reset. So that is the goal for sure. And the goal of this episode was to have a good time before Thanksgiving. And gentlemen, I think we accomplished that. This was an incredible episode.
Are you really spending Thanksgiving alone?
We'll talk about it off stream.
You got my son back there, dude. Seal will be there.
That's
Seal's looking good, man.
He is looking good every day. That one closer and closer to him talking to me. But thanks for letting us talk to you guys. Before we end, I do want to give some quick shout outs though to other tournament winners. Tarek took it down at Lisbon Knockout over everybody's favorite World Traveler Big Boss. So shouts to Tarek for taking that one down. And then Matt T, a roaster that kind of came out of nowhere, won Sumibato in Japan over people like Rari, Mild, Reiki, Snow, Corpanzo. So that was pretty crazy. Shouts to them. My boy Alan Dis put an end to that dancing Jim Manny in Mexico. Took down his event, beat him twice, which was great. Good job, Alan Dis. You're not dancing anymore, are you, Manny? Yeah, Jim. And then Mars was able to get past Just Blue at his C tier and win that. So could have been a collective just ooga booga amount of Steves winning this weekend, but luckily they were held at bay by some very resourceful people. Take notes, Yada. Anyway, that was Lights Out episode 114. It was a blast. And
114.
Yeah, 114. I remembered this time actually. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Wait, how many numbers is Tweet Talks on?
Like two
just
something.
Go on YouTube.
Find out. I'm curious.
Talks. 216.
216.
Yeah.
Time to start doing 2 episodes a week.
You're just
Catch up.
Seriously. Honestly, they're like probably like 2 more 25th placements for Tweak away from just, you know what I'm saying? So.
Damn. Sheesh. No faith. What the hell?
I'm kidding. Kinda. All right, that's it. Lights Out is over. We'll see you after the holidays. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.